Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is a Druids duel. There are Druids involved in it. There is dueling involved in it. I'm not sure if I'd call it a duel because there's quite a few Druids. They're not individually dueling per se. It's more like a Druids brawl. It's probably more accurate. It's brought to you by Thought Shelter Games, and this is a turn-based strategy game. It's kind of chess with druids of sorts. Let's jump right in, shall we? You might notice the resolution's a little bit weird. Yeah, this game is only in 4x3, which frankly is ridiculous. I really have no idea what's going on with that whatsoever. But it is 4x3 for some reason, so there you go. Alright, let's have a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump directly into the campaign and show you exactly what's going on. So, behold, there are druids on either side here. These are my druids, the blue druids, and these are the opposing druids. The aim of the game is to take over all the territory. You might notice that some of these blocks here have little edges on them. That represents territory that belongs to the other druid side. So every time you grab a piece of territory, it's going to generate mana for you next turn, which means you can use abilities and summon more druids. And you're going to have to summon a lot of druids because druids die very, very quickly in this game. So that is something to consider. So I want to spend some initial mana in order to grab as much stuff as humanly possible. Probably the best way to do that would be to transform into a wolf, taking most of my mana here, and then going 1, 2, 3, and let's grab the stone. There we go. That probably seems like the optimal way to do it. So each of the druid types has the ability to transform into some kind of animal, and that animal is going to give you some sort of ability. If I change this bear druid into a bear, it's going to be able to attack and kill up to 3 druids, one after another, if they happen to be standing next to each other. Pretty damn brutal. You can also, in a pinch, use the druid transformation as a land-grabbing ability, because you get 3 moves out of it. In this case, the bear druid can actually move twice, so I'm going to grab 2 of these pieces of terrain here, and that's pretty much my turn. So let's see what the other druids do. Well, they're going to be summoning more druids. Lots of druids. And you got to watch out for that. You can't let them summon too many, because if they do, then things are going to get horribly, horribly ridiculous. Thankfully, I grabbed a lot of territory and both of these stones, so I'm generating a huge amount of mana right now, which means I should be able to do a decent amount of damage, hopefully, and actually get some more druids on the field. So I'd like to say that I'm in range here to attack, but I'm not. I'm going to move them here, so hopefully anyone that tries to cross the bridge is going to get blown up. Speaking of bridge, we could actually place a bridge here and grab this sprite, which would give me a little bit more mana if I so desired. We could do that. Yeah, why not? And we can probably go wolf with him as well. Which means we can grab that, grab that, grab that, and move here. Now, this guy's going to die, because every druid dies in a single hit. So if you happen to be standing next to another druid, like especially this one, he's just going to stab you with a spear and you're dead. This is okay. You should treat the basic druids, the guardians, as pawns, essentially, to be sacrificed when you need them. And you will probably need to sacrifice a great deal of them. We're going to grab a couple of these guys, as there are some nice things we can do here. I'm thinking, can I charge across here? If I go 1, 2, 3, I'm only going to kill a guardian, then I'm going to get whacked by the other guy. So there's actually no point in me doing that. So I don't really want to be doing it. At least I don't think so. Hang on a minute. Can I move one and then use my ability? Because I could kill both of them. No, I can't. Okay. Just wanted to check. I wasn't 100% sure on that. So, being here, is it safe? Well, this is where the strategy comes into play, because each of these druids has a different attack range and different abilities. These guys, if he has enough mana next turn, he can take to the skies and land and kill pretty much any of my druids within range. He can fly across the map, land on them as a bird, and kill them. So I've got to watch out for that. But if he overcommits, he puts his fairly expensive druid type in a position where I can do a lot of damage to him. So you might want to try and avoid doing that. So I've got a couple of archers here. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, can this bear druid reach me? If he did if he turned into a bear and did a 3-square dash, it'd go 1, 2, 3, which would actually kill my bear druid. I don't want that. So I'm going to put him in a position where that's impossible. So I'm going to put him right back there. So this area is essentially locked down. Him getting across here would require the sacrifice of druids. So such is the way of life. Alright, I'm thinking I might grab a Waywalker. They're a little bit expensive, but they have a lot of magical powers. They're the most expensive druid in the game. And they can do some pretty fun things. Speaking of fun things, let's grab that terrain there and then back off. That unlocks these 3 magical spells. The ability to remove obstacles, place obstacles, and steal terrain. Okay, cool. That's my turn done. This guy's going to die. We know that. This area is pretty well defended. But we do want to watch out because this area right here is very large. So if he starts to grab a lot of this territory, he's going to rapidly outpace me in terms of mana. That was a bit of a weird decision. I'm not actually sure why he bothered to do that, because he could have just stabbed him with that instead of spending the mana. But he did kill off my bear, which is a pretty good trade for him. So I can kill him. Actually, I can't, because I can't attack him. He's right next to my other dude, so that was actually a smarter move than I gave him credit for. So we might want to figure out a way of dealing with him in some way. Well, we can kill him. There we go. So we can pop him easily. And I'm thinking now's a good time to actually transform and pick off this isolated bear. That's a good trade, because even if this guy dies, that's a 10 mana druid versus a 15 mana druid. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a good trade, gets him out of the way, means he can't retake all this territory as well, and it also puts my guy in a position to snipe off anyone that tries to cross this area, so that's pretty good. I want to kill that guy. The problem is I can't. I actually have no way of doing it, I don't think. I could turn into a turtle, which makes my Waywalker... I might have to do that, actually. I think that might be the only way to deal with this, because otherwise that Waywalker's going to die. He's going to just kill him with the archer. So I'm going to turn him into a turtle. There we go. And now he's going to be immune to damage. In the meantime, I think now's a good time, since he's sort of let this area go a little bit, to transform into a wolf and grab more territory. It's also worth noting that these different colors of terrain give you different amounts of mana. There's actually 6 seasons in total for some inexplicable reason. And as a result... pop one there, and we can pop a guardian there as well. Why not? He'll probably get picked off, but hey. Each of the tiles in different seasons gives you a different amounts of mana. They are really spamming that ability. And that actually did a lot of damage to me. I lost most of my druids there, so that's not good. I actually don't have many offensive druids left. So I think my composition is incorrect here. I think I need to get a couple of bears out pretty quickly. First things first, we can stab him and take that terrain. That's nice. There's nothing wrong with that. He really can't do anything. I can move him there. The Waywalker can't attack, so this is... He's right next to him, so he's not going to take any damage. So we could actually grab a piece of land, or we could remove a piece of land. Shame I can't remove a piece of land directly under him. That would be very nice indeed, wouldn't it? But I'm afraid that doesn't quite work that way. What we really need is our archer guy to go and land on someone. We could actually have him land there, and he won't be able to attack, so that's a pretty good position. Let's steal some land here, if we can. Actually, we can... There we go. We'll steal that one. And he's got 2 moves left. I could do some other stuff. Don't want to remove an obstacle? I don't really. Nothing else is in range to steal, so... I guess he's probably going turtle again, just to be safe. And we will take him up in the air. And we could actually just eliminate him completely. Yeah, that'll work. There we go. Splat. So we really need a bear. We just don't want to put him in range where he can be shot. So where's the best place to put the bear? Nope, not right there, because he's going to die immediately. You see the strategy involved in this? I think you probably can. It's really about positioning, and it's also about rapid swings in pacing. Because... Oh, I was hoping that... Oh no. Disaster. You can rapidly lose mana, and as a result, you'll be unable to properly respond. But with a good set of moves, you can swing the game back in your favor pretty quickly. The problem I currently have is he's got a bunch of guys that can fight, and I've got a bunch of guys that can't fight. Now, considering he has bears over here, probably the wisest move I can come up with at this point is to place a number of Wind Riders at the back, and then next turn use them to land on his key units and kill them. That's probably the smartest thing I can do. I'm pretty sure he's currently out of range of the archer, so I'm not massively worried there, but I still probably want to move him around here. Get him out of the way. Take a little bit more terrain, because we need more mana anyway. And getting ourselves a bear that we could start to use would be good as well, because he is very destructive. There we go. We can get one more guardian just for the sake of it. Alright, so we're going to have another turn of him dropping 60 mana's worth of nonsense on me, which is unfortunate, and he's going to take all that terrain with the wolf there. And he snipes off my bear. I thought I was out of range. I was mistaken. Well, that is not good. But we can kill both of his bears with our Wind Riders. In fact, if we... I've only got enough mana to do 2 of them. But killing both the bears is pretty key. So... They're out of range. No. Alright, I guess we're killing archers then. We can kill this bear. Yeah, we're going to have to, because otherwise it's going to demolish my Wind Rider. Don't want that. There we go. And kill him off. There we go. But we are starting to, as you can see, rapidly run out of units. And things are going to become disastrous if we allow that to continue. That would not be good at all, would it? We need to start moving around here and taking these stones back. So, yeah, what do I think of the game? Well, it's a nice little strategy game, ultimately. There's a lot of thought involved in it. The AI is pretty damn competent. And it is very easy to rapidly have things spiral out of control. But simultaneously, with a good set of moves and the right kind of druids, you can swing things back in your favor without a huge amount of problem. And that is quite the satisfying thing to do. I'm going to have to fly him off because otherwise he's going to die. I can land him on that bear, but he'll die immediately. Ugh, I don't like it. We need more units, clearly. More stuff. Let's pop an archer here. He can grab that back. And we can pop an archer here as well. I wish he could attack. He's not going to do a good job without it. He needs to move out of the way, and then at least we can move our guy forward. This is pretty much what it is. It introduces some different squares later on and things like different obstacles, but you have the entire range of druids available from the very start. It's really quite a nicely balanced game for fairly obvious reasons. The chess comparison is perhaps not entirely reasonable, and I'm going to lose this. I lose games a lot in this game. But it is very much about space control. It's about using the right units for the job, and it's about predicting your opponent's moves over the next couple of turns. And as a result, it ends up being a fairly satisfying experience, and I'm going to quit out of this one because I've clearly lost. It also has a multiplayer mode, which will work with, you've got local 2 to 4 player hot seat, and you've also got online, which includes a play-by-email mode, as well as a regular turn-based. I'm actually in a play-by-email game right now, so let's resume that game. There we go. And I can show you what exactly is going on in my play-by-email game. I'm probably losing that one as well, I would imagine. Okay, he went bear and killed one of my bears. Okay, and he also strategically moved right next to my archer, knowing that I can't do anything. So that's pretty sneaky, sis. And he's also taken the vast majority of the terrain on the map, which is not good at all, is it? So what we'll probably want to do here is try and blitz a maximum amount of terrain out of him. Do I want to sacrifice him? No, I don't think so. I don't see the point. We can kill him. He'll get killed by that next turn, but that's not a huge deal. That bear's got to die. The way we're going to do that is by landing on him. There we go. And then we can kill him as well. So actually, this didn't go too badly. And then we can pop one down here to hopefully grab this sprite next turn. And there we go. And then that just registers the turn right there. As far as I can tell, this is set to have 0 turn time, meaning it becomes play by email. But you can also set up a game, as you can see, with actual turn timers. So you can either play in, quote, real time with time limits, or you can play 0, which counts as play by email. I don't believe it emails you to tell you the thing's ready, but it will make you aware. Actually, no, it does. Never mind. Ignore me completely. There are notifications for that. And these are the number of maps that you've got. Nice art style as well, I've got to admit. You know, it really is quite pretty. You can see the different features on the maps here, and there are some designed to be played by up to 4 players, so there's actually a decent amount of maps. Frankly, like, it's a fairly simple concept that's really well executed. It's a really nice little turn-based strategy game. It looks good, it feels balanced, it feels very strategic, it's extremely satisfying to pull off a great move that you've been planning out for the last couple of turns to bait an opponent in so that you can destroy them with a few well-placed bears. There's just enough here to make this a pretty damn good value proposition, as far as I'm concerned, if you happen to be interested in playing a turn-based strategy that is just pure tactics, really. That's what it is. It is absolutely pure tactics. You don't have to worry too much about economy, although there is resource management involved in it. The combat is very simple, but nicely nuanced. Nice little things to consider, like if you end your turn next to an archer, the archer won't be able to attack you. So that's a really cool consideration. I like the idea that the game encourages you to sacrifice units on a regular basis, especially essentially the pawns, the guardians, in order to capture space and territory. And it also forces you to decide between destroying your opponent's units and often taking terrain. And you've got to figure out exactly whether or not it's a good idea to go on the offensive on one turn, or actually just grab as much terrain as possible to try and build up mana for the turns after that. Make sure your opponent doesn't get too much of a momentum swing while you have a technically weaker army. Yeah, it's really nicely put together. There's a campaign, it's tricky, certainly. It's a good few hours of play available there. There's also local and online multiplayer modes. So if you are interested in what is a fairly straightforward but nicely nuanced turn-based tactics game, a Druids Duel is a good option. Speaking of options, there, well, frankly, barely are any. If I had a criticism of the PC port or whatever, I assume this is going to be on iPad if it isn't there already because of the 4:3 resolution here. But there are basically no options to speak of. You could turn the music on and off, and there's a how to play section here, which is actually quite handy because it nicely explains what each of the druids can actually do, what they can transform into, and all of the rules related to each of the druids. And it also shows you examples of each one as well. So it's a really nice to put together little manual. It has a couple of tutorial levels that sort of explain things a little bit, but if you want to know a little bit more about what each of the units' abilities are, you can check them out under there, and it's really nicely put together. But yeah, no, outside that, not much of an options menu. Not that you really need a huge amount. It's all mouse-driven anyway, but simultaneously, the 4:3 resolution is a bit ugly, and I'd prefer that they actually fix that in a patch. Get it into a 16:9 or 16:10 so people can actually, you know, play it without big black bars on the side of the screen. Not particularly cinematic. But yeah, it's a nice little strategy game. I don't have too many bad things to say about a Druids Duel because it is a game that has a reasonably limited scope, but what it has, it executes really, really well and actually creates a strategy game which involves a good deal of thought. And I think if you enjoy playing perhaps more traditional strategy board games, a Druids Duel would actually work very well as a board game. It is basically a board game. So if that's your sort of thing, then you might actually find a great deal within a Druids Duel. Although, it's still a brawl, whether you like it or not. My name's been TotalBiscuit, taking a look at a Druids Duel, which is available for $10 or your regional equivalent on Steam. My name's been TotalBiscuit, and I just said that, didn't I? I'll see you next time.